Hi, it's Stacy from familieswithgrace.com, and I have some fun family activities for you for this fall that you need to do with your family. I have 19 different ideas for you, along with a free fall bucket list printable that you can find at familieswithgrace.com. It's a great way to keep track of activities for your family this fall and keep you guys doing some things maybe that you haven't even done before. So here's the thing. I love fall. It is my favorite season. I love the colors. I love the weather. I love the flavors. Everything about fall is something that I just really enjoy. And so I wanted to make sure that this year I'm being intentional about family activities to do during the season. We tend to do that in the summertime. I always have a summer bucket list of things for my family to do, but I wanted to do that with fall instead this year as well, so that we have both things to do, to be intentional about the ways that we are spending time together and enjoying this season as a family. So I put together a fall bucket list for my family and for yours too, because I have it all ready for you. It's a list of fun family activities that you can do this year, and some are things that my family's done regularly, and some are going to be new to us, which I think is perfect for a fall bucket list or any bucket list. You want to do some things that are traditional sort of favorites and some things that are new as well. So you can download the free fall bucket list printable at familieswithgrace.com, and it has all of the 19 ideas that we're going to talk about today on that list for you. You can also, if you would rather do your own list and have it as an editable PDF along with a blank page where you can fill in your own ideas, if you head over to familieswithgrace.etsy.com, you can get a copy of that in the Etsy store as a digital download, and it will have an editable PDF that you can add in all of your own things and check off things as well. So you can print that out and use it, or you can use it digitally in your planner, or however best works for you. And if you use the code FWGFAN, you'll get an extra 10% off anything in the Families with Grace Etsy store, which is definitely something you want to check out. There's lots of great stuff in there for families that are just easy to download and print or use digitally. Okay, so let's talk about our fall family activities and things that you should do this fall. So the first thing that I have is go for a leaf sightseeing drive. One of the best things about fall is the colors of the leaves and just everything. It's so gorgeous. That's what I love. So taking time to just drive around and enjoy that beauty of nature is a great fall activity for families, no matter how old your kids are. If they're really young and they don't really care, it's okay. Maybe even just go at nap time and let them kind of snooze in the back seat while you're just driving around and enjoying the colors. Play some favorite music if your kids are a little bit older. Just take in the beauty of God's creation, whether you do that in 20 minutes or an hour. It doesn't have to be a major production, just a nice way to spend a fall afternoon. Number 2, head to a pumpkin patch and get your own pumpkin. Fall and pumpkins definitely go hand in hand. So head to a nearby pumpkin patch and get your own pumpkins. And I have to tell you, even though I am definitely not a plant person, it's just not my thing at all, I still really do enjoy pumpkin patch visits. It just feels so autumnal. It's very nice. I enjoy that. And you get the added bonus of supporting a local farmer, which is always a good thing to do. All right, another great thing to do during the fall as a fun family activity is to bake pumpkin bread together. Pumpkin spice is definitely one of the most popular flavors of fall. I get that. But what I enjoy most, I want my pumpkin spice baked into a loaf of pumpkin bread. That's my favorite thing. And especially if I pair that with a mug of hot chocolate, oh my goodness, that's like the perfect fall treat, really. And I will have to tell you, I do have a terrific pumpkin bread recipe on familieswithgrace.com. There's a link to it in the blog post and then also in the comments as well, or in the description. And this recipe is so easy. It is from scratch. You use actual canned pumpkin to do it, but it is really, I've made it with a class full of kindergartners. That's how easy it is. So you can do it too, even if you're not a big baker. But if you really just do not want to bake, just pick up some pumpkin bread at the grocery store or bakery and enjoy it that way, whatever works for you. All right, another great idea for a fall family activity is to go on a hike or a nature walk. Fall weather may not cool down everywhere, but for many of us, like those of us here in the Midwest, temperatures start going down in the fall, which is such a relief after our hot Midwestern summers. So that's why hikes or nature walks make for great fall family activities. You get to be outside and enjoy the crisp air and the colorful leaves. Find somewhere nearby and make some memories. All right, another great thing to do is to drink apple cider, warm or chilled, however you prefer it. Apples are another great fall flavor, and apples are harvested in the fall, which is the perfect time to have some cider. Enjoy it warm or cold, however you best like it. My family tends to like it cold, so that's how we tend to drink it around here. You can find that at a grocery store or a nearby orchard. If you're going maybe for a pumpkin patch visit, you can often find it in farm stores as well. Another great thing to do as the weather is getting cooler and you are in the fall season is to play some board games. Pick at least an hour, but you can make a whole family game night, whatever you want to do. I mean, I really don't think there's ever a wrong time to play games. It's one of my family's favorite activities, but it can be tricky to make time to play those games in the busyness of life. So having that on a bucket list helps you make sure that you're making that a priority and that you make it happen, that you have a family game night, which is pretty cool. I know that it's something that we enjoy, and no matter what, you can find games, even if your kids are younger and maybe you're not reading yet, there are definitely some great games for early and non-readers. I will give you a link for that as well. I've got some great ideas for you in those regards. All right, and then movie night. That's another great fall activity. That's really an any time of the year activity, but fall is especially nice. You can snuggle in with some popcorn, some snacks, and maybe, cozy up with a blanket on chilly fall evenings and just pick a movie to watch together and enjoy them. We tend to do this probably the most on Friday nights when everybody's a little bit tired from the whole week. It's just a great way to be able to have some downtime and decompress as a family and just enjoy each other while really not spending super much energy because, we're all kind of tired. But do whatever works for you. If there's a better night of the week, if there's an afternoon, however it works. Another great thing to do in the fall is to go to the farmers markets. Autumn is actually a great time. We tend to think of summer as being great for farmers markets, but autumn is a really great time for farmers markets too. The weather is cooler, which encourages you to stroll through the market a little bit longer, and lots of produce is still fresh in the fall, and then vendors often have other items too, like home-baked goodies that would pair well with things like, game or movie nights. And you can probably maybe find some apple cider at your local farmers market as well. It's just a fun thing to do. Another great thing to do in the fall that we actually tend to do is have a fall family photo shoot. This started because our oldest child has a birthday in October, and so we would do pictures every year for her to commemorate whatever age she was turning that year. And we've just kind of continued the tradition. The colors in fall just make for perfect backdrops for family photos. It's a great time to be outside taking pictures because it's not too hot, it's not too cold. You can usually find just beautiful days. I have paid for these family photos, but these days I usually just take my kids outside and take a lot of photos with my phone. They're easy to edit, and then I can just pick my favorites. And my kiddos really do enjoy coming up with poses, and I usually end up with more natural photos that I really like as a result. And often those are what appear like on my Christmas card or things that I have printed out, like for pictures to have around the house, which I really do enjoy. Another great thing to do in the fall is to attend a fall festival. Fall is a great time for festivals. Find one or two or three near you and attend. Here in the Midwest, we have things like covered bridge festivals and historic area festivals. There's also harvest festivals. My children's school always has a harvest festival every year. Find something and just go for the fun of it. We recently went to a Native American festival and had a great time. So just pick something and try it. It's definitely an adventure and a good way to pass a fall afternoon. Another great idea is to pick apples at an orchard. Apples are fresh and delicious in the fall. If you have an orchard near you that lets you pick your own apples, then go for it. You can try different varieties and see what you and your family like best, or just stick with one trusty variety. Either way, it can provide a lot of fun for your entire family this fall. And speaking of having some fun at maybe a pumpkin patch or a farm, going through a corn maze can be a really great fall activity for your family. It's an essential part of the fall season for those of us who live, as I like to say, where the corn pops up in rows. You might recognize that from a Tim McGraw song, and that might tell you my age a little bit. That's okay. If you've got a corn maze near you, definitely hit it up and navigate your way through it. Usually we let one of our kids lead us, or sometimes they take turns leading us. And especially when they were younger, maybe, and needed some more help, we would then end up maybe kind of suggesting turns that we might want to take so we weren't stuck in the maze forever. But it's a fun thing to do. And if you are at that pumpkin patch to go through the corn maze and pick your pumpkin and you have your pumpkin, definitely another great fall activity is to paint or carve pumpkins. Pumpkins really are everywhere in the fall, and it's a great time to get creative with them. We both carve and paint pumpkins in my family based on each person's preferences, so do what works for you. My daughter likes to paint pumpkins. My son likes to carve them. I am the only member of our family who really just loves cleaning out the pumpkins. I don't know if that's my favorite part of it. I'm not sure why. I don't really like to get dirty and messy otherwise, but I love digging into those pumpkins. All in all, it works out really well, and it's a great fall family activity that happens during autumn. Even if you are a family who does not really celebrate Halloween, you can still just have fun decorating pumpkins and doing them with fall colors or themes or whatever you want to do. We actually had one last year that I painted to look like a donut, so it doesn't have to be anything spooky or scary, just have fun with it. All right, and another great activity is to play charades. Charades is one of my kids' favorite games and has been for years. You can use themed charades games like a Halloween charades, which you can also find at familieswithgrace.etsy.com, or just general charade games that let everyone come up, or you can let everyone come up with their own ideas. In my family, we tend to play charades by having one person act out the clue and the rest of us guess. We don't keep score and we just have fun with it. If your family works better with keeping score, then do so. We've definitely found with kids that sometimes not keeping score is the best way to go because we can just have fun and nobody worries about getting too competitive and who's winning and who's losing. But do what works for you. Another great fall activity is to donate to a local food bank. Donating to local food banks is perfect year-round, but especially in the fall it is important because food banks are preparing for the holiday seasons that are coming up with Thanksgiving and Christmas, where they need even more items than usual. We often will contact the food bank and ask what sort of things they need most before we start buying things. We are often surprised. Sometimes it is canned goods, but a lot of times it can be things like toiletries, because those often are really needed at food banks and requested but not donated as much. So I encourage you to check with your food bank and see what they actually need as you are donating this fall. Our kids get excited about this. So we have them, they divide their allowance 3 ways. They have giving, spending, and savings. And so they use their giving money most often for food banks, and they've gotten really good at shopping and finding good prices to get the most for their money that we're able to donate, which is a really neat thing to be able to do as a family, and to know that you're giving back and you're helping other members of your community who are going through difficult times. And another fall activity for your family is to eat a caramel apple. All right, so you can make them yourself, which is something I actually have never done. Need to try that, I just haven't. Or definitely you can buy them at the store. You can probably find them at a farmer's market. You could find them maybe at the farm store when you're going to a pumpkin patch or orchard. But whatever, caramel apples are kind of the quintessential fall treat that you definitely need to work into your rotation. I like mine covered with little peanuts. My husband prefers them plain. Find whatever you like, and if you just can't get down with a caramel apple, you can even just buy the caramel apple dip and dip some apple slices in it, or whatever fruit you like. I guess you could even do things like dip pretzels in it or something like that too. But just the caramel flavor is a really good part of fall, and caramel apple just really pairs together nicely. All right, another great idea for you this fall is to go on a hayride. Hayrides can be a great family activity. We usually work in a hayride on a visit to the pumpkin patch because that's usually the two kind of go hand in hand. The only thing to be aware of is that some hayrides do have a scare factor with people surprising you, maybe in scary ways. So definitely know what you're getting into before you go on a hayride, especially with younger children. We don't want anyone being too scared. So that's a good thing to be aware of. And I would also suggest as a fall family activity, roasting s'mores. Listen, I love food. I'm telling you, flavors of fall is part of what I enjoy, so I had to include quite a few of those things as well because I just can't resist. So s'mores we often think of as a summertime campfire treat, but fall is a great time for bonfires and fire pits. And if you've got fire going, or even if you have a fire in your fireplace, it's a great time to roast some marshmallows. Add in some chocolate and some graham crackers, and you have a delicious treat that is just as good in the fall as it is in the summer. All right, and my final fall family activity idea for you is to make a leaf collection. It's a great activity, especially for younger kiddos who delight in all the various types of leaves that they can find, but Even when you have older kids, it can still be fun. Maybe you can have competitions a little bit, friendly competition, of course, to see who can find the biggest leaf or the most colorful leaf and so on. It can be a really fun way to do. It's a good activity if you're out, especially if you are out on a nature walk, as we've talked about, to enjoy the fall colors and everything as well. That can be a great time to just gather some leaves and see what kind of cool things you can find out there. So if you would like to have all of these ideas in one handy printable list, the fall bucket list, make sure that you do head over to familieswithgrace.com, and you can just download and print that out for free. If you want to be able to customize your own list and add some things to it and check it off and do things digitally, head over to familieswithgrace.etsy.com and be sure to use that code FWGFAN to get an extra 10% off anything at all in the Families with Grace Etsy store. All right, I hope you're having a great day and enjoy your fall with your family this year. Bye-bye.